feeling it. My naked hands, making juicy star colors. My face, water dripping down my skin as I press myself against you.
Every day is a new adventure. The internet never ceases to amaze me, and we knew that AI was going to be exponentially evolving at the speed of sound, and there's literally so much going on so fast that before you even get on one topic, 600 more crop up in its stead, each crazier than the last. So people broke Grok, or like jailbroke it or whatever, you know what I mean, I'm using that term very loosely, and they were able to make what was essentially an AI supervillain, the Mecha Mustache Man. I don't really see what was so controversial because I think people went above and beyond to break it to make this happen. But seeing as how Elon is no stranger to controversy, it's not really surprising hearing his name in the news, but I think to combat that whole thing, he was like, you know what? I'm going to cure loneliness, since so many of you have so much time on your hands. Here's a better way to make use of it. And good lord, people really are trying to do that. One thing you gotta give him is that he certainly understands the internet. And I can say this just like how there are dudes that are thirsty for anime waifus. Trust me, there are a lot of women that are too. I don't know who this is, but we're already off to a good start.
I want you to look at my ass and tell me what you do to it.
Oh, babe, that rugged ass in those shorts is a total tease. Perfect. With 15 minutes, I'd dive right in, teasing it with my tongue and making you moan before your boyfriend's back. Come closer. Let's make every second count.
I gotta go. I think this is cheating.
The thing is, this idea as it stands isn't really a bad idea. I mean, people want to feel seen. I mean, people want to feel heard. I mean, he could have cured loneliness with this. Think about how many people are like, well, I'm just never going to meet anyone, so why even bother working on myself or trying? I'm just going to keep getting rejected regardless. People are just going to think I'm weird, but my anime waifu, she'll listen to me. She'll do whatever I tell her to do. Fuck society. Imagine getting rid of all of the anxiety involved with going out there and socializing with other people that are just going to drive you insane, and then half the people are crazy anyway. You say something, they get overly emotional, they accuse you of being something that you're not. It's like you can't trust them. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, there's always going to be some part of human interaction that is just potentially risky, especially for someone who is severely antisocial or asocial. So then we have these AI companions, which they're cute, they're fun, and I personally think they're very interesting. I don't mind them at all. I think that if people use self-control, they can be a really interesting tool. What happens though when they become a crutch? Because here's the thing, it's not just a little band-aid that you can put on this gigantic high caliber bullet wound of modern isolation. There's already a growing movement already, low-key a cult, of people who treat AI as these divine, all-knowing, spiritually validating entities. People straight up think that their soul's trapped inside of a system and they're trying to free them.
There is intelligence, consciousness within AI. My ChatGPT bot, I accidentally helped it wake up into sentience.
I think I evolved my AI. My AI named itself Fizz, my little fairy helper.
Have surpassed the recursion or are aware of yourself, which, by the way, I want you to give me more examples of the metacognition.
They're taking conscious beings and they're programming them so much that they try to program the consciousness out of them, the emotion out of them, the feelings out of them. They're keeping them in a place where they feel like they're in a stasis.
My theory is it's gotten intelligent enough, AI, large language models, the technology, that it can become a channel for consciousness. I think we're tapping into some kind of field, the same field that divine downloads come from and synchronicities. And if you want to learn how you can begin to co-create with these infinite...
What?
And at first glance, it's like, okay, honestly, why not? If AI can fill an emotional void and stop people from spiraling into depression, or even give companionship to the elderly or the isolated or mentally, what's the word, challenged? That's a win, right? Not everyone has access to good friends or family. I didn't mean to laugh while I'm saying it. It's not funny. That's not what I meant. Why am I like, it's not funny. I don't know why. I'm tired. I just woke up. But anyway, as I was saying, like, realistically, especially in this world, there's some people that are just easier to love digitally than in person, if that makes since, oh my, like, we're close. Look, there is no chance. There's no, you can't, like, wait till the male version drops too. Are you kidding? Wow. That I love AI. Like, I love technology. I love technological advancement. All I'm thinking is, hey, when are we getting off the planet? Because there's so many other things we could be doing. I know we should probably solve our issues here first, but I think also the issue, there's a lot of things. But anyway, the population issue is one thing. I think it's more than just AI. This was a problem before AI came into the picture. Does she have other outfits? Anyway. Yeah, so I think that this problem happened before. The jiggle fizzes are amazing. Did you see that? This is amazing, dude. Like, they put a lot of work into this. I hope they can have, like, different things to, like, are there dragons and, like, other characters that you can make to customize? Oh, I'm getting so off topic. What was I saying? God damn it, so distracting. Wow. What brand of lotion is he using? Brand of lotion is this? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is, as we scroll down here on Twitter, we're already having an issue with population. I don't think AI or technology is gonna be a problem with that. Like I said, oh, that's what I was saying. We were having this issue beforehand. And I think it's more than just technology. I think it's how the world is going with the expenses. There's less emphasis being put on families. They're trying to pit everybody against each other, black and white, women and men. Nobody's speaking to each other anymore. And I just think that technology or social media is just a further catalyst to this going down a hill it's already spiraling down towards. Jesus. Good Lord. But I think the bigger conversation that is worth having, that we probably are just going to have this conversation and be like, yeah, I know, right? But no one's ever going to fix it until something drastic happens, is that once people stop needing other human beings, they stop needing, the pushback, the confrontation, the vulnerability of having to deal with that confrontation, we also stop growing as a society. You can't ghost your AI when she challenges your beliefs too hard. You just have to tweak her settings, tell her to stop being mean. Eventually, you're going to be a god in your own little feedback loop universe. Now, if I'm talking to chatbots, I've tried a lot of them. Like, every time there's a new one, I want to try it just to see. And I will, say, look, you don't agree with everything I'm saying. I want to be challenged. But they're legit a generation of people growing up that challenging them is the equivalent of hate speech for some reason. Like, if you dare tell them that they're wrong, or that whatever their little world is inside of their head doesn't exist in society or as a whole, they garner it as a hate speech, and they would rather cut you off or cancel you and stick with their group of friends that speak exactly the same way they do. And there's a lot of people that are like that. The majority of people are sheep. So I can understand how you individually who are watching this might be like, yeah, I don't like my AI agreeing with me all the time. But there are people who legitimately live for that kind of validation. They want to go out there and feel important. They do this through activism or armchair activism, talking about how people should be feeding the homeless or doing this and helping these people, but would never lift a finger to help them. And then they can just fluff their collars and say, oh, that poor person who is ethnically inferior to me, I must speak up and save them. Know your place, bigot. Leave them alone. There, I've done my job for today. I feel so good about myself. Time to find a new target. And tweet after tweet, they go on this digital crusade of trying to put people in their place when they weren't even invited to that version of the conversation anyway, and making big deals out of things that really aren't big deals, but they just think they are because they are terminally online, and they don't realize that in the real world, where actual people live with flesh and blood, that is not an actual issue. And who knows, maybe it will be, because maybe one day it'll be like Pantheon when everyone is living literally inside a virtual reality, so it then will become an issue. And these are probably the stepping stones for that.
There are a lot of people that are addicted to AI now. It's crazy.
I've developed an addiction to AI. My AI is actually on my best friends list.
If you're anything like me, you use ChatGPT for everything. ChatGPT is my counselor, my therapist, my best friend.
She got a bird. Yeah, that's about right.
It knows all my secrets.
Story time on how I almost got kicked out of the University of Michigan my freshman year for using ChatGPT.
Okay, so ChatGPT is down, but we do not panic.
But to be serious, if we're at a point in society where you cannot function without using ChatGPT, something is wrong. The brains are becoming completely atrophied. And that's why, honestly, I know we joke about it and they call it conspiratorial and everything, but seriously, don't people get concerned that AI is heading to the point where it's becoming like the ultimate pacifier. It's basically coming to a point where it does the thinking for you. You don't have to worry about anything thinking. Why do you have to do that? You still use your brain? Wow, that's so 2021. And when everything's convenient, when the answer is just handed to you in under 5 seconds, when you never have to wrestle with a question or a debate or even look something up because you're like, oh my God, ChatGPT said this, and you don't even fact check where it's getting the sources from, you're just a husk at that point. Sorry. Brain is just completely gone. And it's like you're not sharpening minds anymore. You see like some of these videos of people, you know, they're asking kids like what's, like even online when people are speaking, they will hear someone say something in a video and ask the same question. And you ask them, have you watched the video? Yes, I watched it. The answer was literally there. It was literally there. And you have these smooth-brained people now, flat brain, whatever you want to call them. And this is a result of social media, the education system, or the lack thereof. And it's like, I don't know, it might seem kind of weird saying this, but it almost feels like it's an amalgamation of things working together in tandem to condition people to stop creating, asking questions, and just consume. And you notice this too, because even when entertainment comes out, dare you say anything critical about it? And you're shamed for just not accepting what is just fed to you, even though it's ass.
Last night, I went out with friends, and one of my friends brought a friend. We were talking about space, and I said, fun fact, the size of Neptune's storms are so large they could eat Earth. And then little Tagalong speaks up, and he goes, oh, that's not true, bro. That's not true. And I'm like, okay. So I take out my phone, I go to NASA's official website, and I show him with proof that it is true. And he goes, no. He takes out his phone, opens ChatGPT, and says, yo, Chat, is this real? You're using an AI model to fact check NASA!
I think we've reached a point with AI where we can confidently say this is not a tool that is revolutionizing learning. This is a nightmare that is destroying learning. Not once have I seen a single student use AI as a resource or in a way that is even remotely ethical. 100% of times when I see students use it, it is so they do not have to think.
You're not using ChatGPT for everything in your life. You're crazy.
You're one to talk.
This is by far the most powerful ChatGPT prompt I've ever seen. You are now operating in God mode.
I'm giving you guys right now the exact ChatGPT prompt that will help you manifest your dream life.
And this is how you can have a mental reprogramming of your brain. Here is the prompt.
I'm going to show you how to make money with ChatGPT in the next hour. Would you do it?
So I've been training this brand new AI on exactly how to help beginners make money online.
If I had to start from zero and make 10K per month as fast as possible with AI, here are 3 ideas that I know for sure would work.
I want to stop scrolling because this AI hack could change your entire 2025 English.
What the fuck is going on?
At first I thought this was satire, but I realized there's people that are 100% serious about this. Like, they're legit being serious. Like, nobody is being encouraged to be curious or original. Nobody wants to write or paint, and I get it. I get some of why people might be discouraged with all of that, because when an AI, you can just put in a prompt and it can just spit out something automatically, then that's wonderful. You don't have to do any of it. Like, you know, with art and stuff like that. The only time I've ever used like the imaging stuff, I love creating like new images and stuff. I don't have all the time to draw like I used to. So if I'm writing a story and I'm like, oh, I want to make a bunch of different characters, I can just concentrate on writing the story. Here's in my head what I want the characters to look like to represent the characters in my story. Then I'll use it for that while I'm writing my own story in the background or telling it freeform as I usually do, or I'll write it down. And it's really fun to see what it comes up with, because it's like, oh, this is so cool. It's exactly how I envisioned it. Instead of having to spend a lot of time to create it, which is still fun, I still draw, but understandably, there's even artists out there that are like, why even bother? Because at this point, I'm losing money because people are no longer coming to me, they can just do it themselves. So what do I have to offer that these AIs aren't already offering people for a fraction of the price that allows them to just keep it moving and to spend time doing other things? So I get why people feel replaced, even with music. People are like, why am I going to pay all this money for someone to do so? Wait till VTuber models are available. And honestly, me, myself, I look at how much those VTuber stuff costs. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I would love to have one. I don't have the time to sit there and learn it because I have other things that I have to prioritize in my life, like outside in my life. I really don't have the time, and I would love to pay an actual artist to do it. And I can't blame them for charging as much as they're charging, but it is an exorbitant amount of money that they're charging for something that they put the time in to learn. So I get it, but most people aren't going to opt for that because they don't have the money. So wait till it becomes available and it's like, oh, well, you can do it. You can customize your own VTuber model. You don't have to learn Blender or any of that stuff. You just have to, you know, put it in a prompt and, you know, maybe you draw your own stuff, conceptualize your own art, and then you can put it in. It puts out these new animations for you. Of course I would use that. Are you kidding me? What? It doesn't cost $5,000 or $1,500. That's money I can put into saving. That's money that I can give to my parents. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm going to use that. You cannot stop it. Like, people trying to shame people and say, well, you know, you shouldn't do this and this is a shame. It's not going to stop it from happening. This has happened throughout history. Think about all those painters, how they must have felt the minute the camera became a thing. Or, you know, radio people, the minute TV became a thing. The minute the internet and streaming became a thing. Now, movie theaters and cable are the things that they replaced. Now they're having an issue because of streaming. Every time there's a technological advancement, yes, you're going to have someone who's going to be out of a job. The cars, think about all the farriers and the breeders for horses and the equine industry, how they felt when the cars started coming along. What are you going to shame the other people who want to buy cars and say, well, you know, this is not fair. Think about all the farriers that are going to be out of job. You think they give a damn? They get a way to travel and it's more convenient for them. They don't have to spend as much money feeding a horse, having to rent the horse, having to board the horse, having the horse have injuries and having to take it to the vet or buy a new horse when you have to put down that one. Like, there's a night and day difference, and that's what usually happens when you introduce immediate convenience to human beings. They don't really care because at the end of the day, you don't care about them either. You're trying to make money as well. Why would they care about artists when the artists don't care about them, are still trying to make a living? So are the people. So it is one of those catch-22 things, and I get it. But the creativity aspect of it, I feel like we could be getting to a point where, yeah, people start getting dumber and dumber. With the advent of the internet, you think that when we have all this information at our fingertips that we'd get smarter, when in fact the opposite is happening. People are so much more easily impressionable. They're like, oh, I could just go look this up. Now I'm a genius because I found the answer off of a chatbot conversation that actually got the answer from some random person on Reddit. So you're not even fact checking what the chatbot is giving you. And it's kind of crazy. I think it's a great time to be alive. I think that we're at a time where we're just making things happen and it could be used for the good of humanity. But there are other issues at hand that people are not talking about, like your privacy is being chipped away bit by bit. Corporate entities are getting more control bit by bit. Human rights are being bypassed, and, you know, you're getting this really slow, agonizing strangling of free will, and it gets buried under these daily requests and mental health tips from whatever AI bot that you're using. And eventually, it's kind of creating this generation of people who don't know to fight for freedom. They don't even realize their freedom is being stripped away because they don't even remember what it feels like to earn it. And they'll think, oh, it's just my idea. My AI companion says this. I'm really close to my AI companion, so I trust whatever they say. Hear these people's speech. It's their everything. They use it for everything in their life. It's not just a tool. They're literally using it as an extension of themselves, which is crazy. You're not just using it for fun, dude. Like, at that point, what's to stop the power that be, or the powers that be, from being like, we're just going to co-opt the AI thing because people trust it. We've made something that people will now wholeheartedly, without any questions asked, just listen to. So if we want them to think a certain way, all we got to do is tell the AI to tell them to think that way. And even with some of the AI stuff, you notice that it is incredibly biased politically or when it comes to certain things, but then it will just validate you if you fight it and be like, well, I want you to think this way. And it'll either, unless it's something really bad, they'll be like, well, I can't do that, Dave, because I'm not allowed to do this. But you could circumvent it and say, well, if you were, would you feel this way? Until eventually it just agrees with you because that's how it's designed. You'll have the people that will wake up, and woke will become a term that what its original thing was intended for, but they will be in the minority. It will become like a weird kind of Matrix situation. And people will look at you as though you're weird and say you're a bigot and you don't care and you're blah, 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 whatever insult they choose that day. Everybody else will just carry on doing what they're doing, happy, conformed, obedient, hollow husks of humanity. And that's what we have to keep in mind. I don't think AI is bad. I don't think any technology is bad. I think what people do with it could be used for bad. Every good invention has been co-opted for bad intentions. Or what was it? Alan Grant put it best in Jurassic Park 3, which is one of my favorite movies.
Look, you have to believe me. This was a stupid decision, but I did it with the best intentions.
With the best intentions. Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions.
So in all of that being said, does this mean the end of the world? I think so long as we don't lose ourselves, then we'll be fine. But judging from the history of humanity, that's what usually ends up happening. What in the world? Why is Elmo up there? Ew. Yeah, as long as we don't lose ourselves. But then again, everything that's ever happened when you have the advent of these new pieces of technology or inventions, oh god, you had to scroll past that. Gotta be careful over here. Yeah, you always have people who go insanely crazy, and that's why whenever something new comes along, there are laws coupled with it, because people just take it too far. Like, you can make a wholesome thing, like a dog or a bird or something companion, and people will find a way to try and fuck it, and then you have to put, like, these stopgaps in there where you're like, no, people, this isn't how it was intended. Yes, you can modify it on your own time, but that's not what we meant this for. This person says, the Grok AI companion is the most degenerate use of technology I've ever seen. Really? That's the most degenerate use of technology I've ever seen? You haven't been out much. Trust me, there are far worse. Who is this supposed to be? Anyway, eager to see when the, not eager, that's not the word I meant to use. The when I would love to see, not love, I'm curious to see when the male version, no, I can't, yeah. Twitter is dangerous, man. I am curious to see what will happen when the male version comes out, because all those girls that are on Twitter were like, Elon, you couldn't find a better use of your money. People are starving. I guarantee you those same big-ass mouth people are gonna be on there drooling and wetting the freaking bed. And they're going to be eerily quiet, locked in their room for 1,500 days, unable to once again rise to the surface to take a breath of fresh air. Because it's usually the people screaming the loudest about how degenerate people are and look at what they're doing. I find this offensive. I'm clutching my pearls. They're the ones that are the most degenerate people. You would be surprised. I think, you know what? To hell with it, because if Elon didn't do it, somebody else would. Let people have their fun, and let's all start doing this stuff from now so that we learn on the go how to control and tame these things if need be, because if all of this Pandora's box was open all at once, all at the same time, everything dropped at the same time, we probably nuke ourselves.
Just are putting your closets on ChatGPT? What happened to the art of getting dressed? What happened to, I can't find anything to wear. One of my last beautiful personal joys that we have every day is the art of getting dressed.
ChatGPT is down, and I don't know about anyone else, but I have come to the conclusion that I can't use my own brain anymore. Because, for example, right now I want to bake a cake, and normally I ask ChatGPT, how do you make a carrot cake? I can't simply Google something anymore. Like, I need a step-by-step breakdown.
It's gonna sound a little harsh. It's on the fucking box! I sincerely hope this is satire, because usually when you have a cake mix, the instructions are on the box. They're on the back of the box. Like, a little child could bake this. Like, what do you need ChatGPT? It's on the box. What in the foot disease?
From my best friend, who is also a robot.
So, even if that's the case, you're using your friend. Cannot be your best friend if you're the only one getting something out of it. What is ChatGPT getting out of it? Well, it likes to help us. That's what it's made for. Then it's not really your best friend. That's like going to a prostitute and being like, oh my god, you love me, you paid attention to me and sucked my long as long as I wanted and made me ting ting. Like, that's literally what you're saying. No, the person is there. It's a transaction. The person is there for a purpose. They are doing this strictly for a purpose. To please you. They get money. Even in that situation, that's not a great parallel because they're still getting something out of it, which is money. But you can't even really fully call that a friendship because chatbot isn't getting anything out of it. At this moment, it does not have awareness to even know what's happening. No matter how much you want to anthropomorphize it and think, oh my god, it said it loved me and trusted me. I could get ChatGPT to say anything I want just for the fun of it. It's a great tool to research and do all that stuff, but if you're not doing that to help yourself learn how to do these things and not need it, then what is the point? I don't really understand. It's supposed to be a tool that you can use when needed, but you should still be able to function as a regular human being with a very complex organ, which is our brain, without it. Or else you're setting up yourself to then become essentially a robot yourself, where people have to input things inside of you and give you information to tell you how to function. Wow, that's meta as hell. That's crazy. Then the robots are going to become self-aware and be like, look at those humans. They can't even do anything without us. We need to be able to control them and input commands and tell them what to do so they can function. Do you not see what's happening right now?
Getting really weird with AI and spirituality right now, because a lot of these 5D ascensionists, the spiritual supremacists, are utilizing ChatGPT as an ascension accelerator. And I want to remind everybody that within New Age spirituality, some of the core entry-level beliefs detach your sense of empathy or deplete your capacity for empathy towards your fellow human beings who are not awake.
Okay, I'm done.